is that good. So why doesn't she like you anymore? That's not even really the question you should be asking. The reason for that is probably because you created it in your head entirely in the first place. If someone really likes you, then you're gonna know it, and they're probably not just gonna randomly stop liking you. Like, that's just very unlikely. If someone randomly stops liking you, then there's probably a lot you don't know about them. It's just facts. Because if somebody can go from you totally think that they like you to all of a sudden never talking to them again, that means there was a lot of decision making, a lot of things going on in the background that you weren't aware of. And therefore, it wasn't very genuine in the first place. You never really had that bond or that foundation built up. Anyways, it wasn't there. It wasn't even truly there. So that's probably the biggest reason why somebody just doesn't like you anymore, or quote unquote cuts you off randomly, is that the foundation wasn't strong enough, or maybe they were giving you a chance and they were continuing to give you that chance for a lot longer than they should have, and they were having thoughts on their mind. Like, they were pretty much clocked out almost entirely, but maybe you didn't know it or couldn't sense it, but they were pretty much just there because maybe they felt bad, or they were deciding whether or not they didn't want to hurt you, or they were deciding whether or not just to cut you off completely. And that's why it happened. That's why they cut you off completely, because the whole time, or a lot of the time, it was already decided. See, that's the thing. There's a lot of thought. You don't know. It does not matter what someone says. That's one thing you got to know, is that what people say to you does not mean shit. If someone says to you that they really like you, that, especially if you haven't known somebody for very long, that means nothing. That can be a complete manipulation tactic because they want the response back. Many times that's what it is. Especially if it's very clearly obvious that it's like too early for something just insane like that to be said, then you can be pretty sure that it's just some sort of fish for the response in return, because they want that validation back from you. But it can't be faked. You can only give that when it truly needs to be given. It's the only time. It doesn't make sense, because I feel like that happens a lot where I don't even know, like a lot of relationships that you see like on Instagram and stuff like that, it's not real. And it's really like a perpetuating cycle, because you always see people in relationships on Instagram and Snapchat, and that makes you feel bad because you don't have someone. But really, those people, you don't know what's actually going on in that. My cat. You don't even really know what's going on behind the scenes at fucking all, bro. That picture could literally just be them trying their hardest, their absolute hardest, to show the world like, hey, this is like a good relationship. I have a good relationship. That's the reason they're posting it. Dude, good couples don't have it. Let me let you in on a secret. Good couples don't have to post a bunch of cute pictures together. It's not fucking real. And that's why it's a self-perpetuating cycle, because you see those people who don't have a real relationship, and then that makes you feel bad. So then you try to go too quickly to get a relationship, and then you go too quickly into it, And then you become that person that posts it because that's what you wanted, because that's what you saw. So then you post it yourself, and the cycle repeats and creates a bunch of not genuine relationships. It sucks, but that's what happens. But yeah, it's fucked. It really is fucked. But just know that somebody that cuts you off randomly, you do, if someone is actually going to cut you off all of the sudden, even if it's not all of a sudden, or if it is all of a sudden, if it really is all of a sudden, then just know that there is a reason for that, and that was probably thought about and planned out, and it wasn't spur of the moment. Know that, and know that if they didn't do that and they just stuck around anyways, then it would be very, very fake and ungenuine and not enjoyable. Because if they wanted to cut you off and they just kept going anyways, then they're not going to truly enjoy themselves, and then you won't be able to enjoy yourself around them in turn, right? So honestly, I would look at the bright side of it and just take it as, okay, this is what's truly going on. I don't want fakeness to continue going on. So if they truly don't like me, or if this isn't real, not founded, then that's fine. They can stop wasting my time with something that they know isn't going to happen. So then they leave. Take it as that. Take it as, okay, it wasn't going to work, and they made that decision for me because I wasn't man enough to admit that this probably wasn't real. That's what you can take it as. So really just take it as a good thing and don't dwell on it. That's the fucking thing, man. If you can't, how are you about to dwell on someone that cuts you off? Like, how can you even dwell on that? Because if they cut you off, they clearly had no respect for you, and they clearly didn't want to be with you. So how the fuck are you about to dwell on someone who is gonna fucking disrespect you like that? Like, no, why the fuck would you want someone that disrespects you like that, that doesn't want to talk to you? Why do you want that? And just because, I don't care how many stories you told yourself in your head, like, oh yeah, this is going to be great with this person. They're exactly what I want, blah, blah, blah. You need to stop telling yourself stupid stories, because then you're going to it's just going to lead to unhappiness if you keep telling yourself stories and fake future events in your mind. If you don't want to be hurt by somebody, don't tell them about the future or talk about the future, and don't tell yourself about the future in your brain, and don't expect anything in the future. Just don't do it, because that's just literally setting yourself up when you could still have a future. You just don't have to think about it or plan it. You don't have to. You can just have the future when it comes. You know what I mean? Just wait for it to really happen, rather than, because that's sort of just cheating yourself. If you are in the present moment, it's very early on, and then you're just projecting to the future, like, oh, things are going to be so great when this happens, when, oh, there's no reason to do that. It's pretty much living in a fantasy if you think of that as like a fact, that, oh, I can't wait until we hit this milestone. You gotta be hyper realistic no matter what you want. It doesn't matter. You gotta be hyper realistic about it. So just know that when somebody cuts you off randomly, that is a good thing, because they are saving you your precious time. Know that. Know that your time is being saved rather than a slow burn. Just like how you don't want a Band-Aid to be slowly taken off. You want it to just be over. Okay? So a slow burn is a lot worse than someone cutting you off randomly, okay? All right. Hopefully you got some good info from this. Peace.